There is something strange about the way your life has unfolded. You have felt it for years, even if you never had the words for it. A quiet feeling, a deep knowing that somehow you were never meant to live the same kind of life as everyone around you. While others seemed comfortable following noise, chasing approval, and blending into the world without question, you always felt different. Not better, just different. Like your soul was listening to something invisible that other people could not hear. And maybe that difference became painful. Maybe people misunderstood you. Maybe they called you too sensitive, too emotional, too quiet, or too intense. Maybe you spent years trying to hide the parts of yourself that felt too deep for this world. You learned how to smile while carrying storms inside you. You learned how to stay silent about the things you truly felt, because every time you tried to explain them, people looked at you like you were strange. So eventually, you stopped explaining. But even then, the feeling never left. Because deep down, a part of you always knew there had to be a reason for all of this. A reason you never fit in completely. A reason your heart feels things so deeply. A reason life has tested you in ways that no one seems to understand. And tonight, I need you to hear this carefully. You are not overlooked by life. You were chosen by it. Not for an easy path, not for a loud path, but for a meaningful one. Some souls are sent here to simply exist, to move through routines, to survive. But some souls arrive carrying something heavier, something quieter, a deeper purpose hidden beneath years of confusion and pain. And if you're listening to these words right now with that ache inside your chest, then maybe you already know this is about you. Because people who are chosen often feel lost before they feel found. That is the part nobody talks about. Before clarity comes confusion. Before purpose comes isolation before awakening. What if your soul refuses to settle because it remembers pain changes people? But for chosen souls, pain reveals people. It strips away illusion. It forces you to stop living on the surface. It teaches you how to see through masks. It gives you compassion so deep that you can feel another person's suffering without them saying a single word. That is why you notice things others ignore. Energy, intentions, silence, emotions hidden behind smiles. You are shaped by everything that tried to break you. And somehow, you are still here. That matters more than you realize. Because many people lose themselves after pain. But you kept searching, even when you were exhausted, even when you wanted to disappear. Something inside you refused to fully give up. A quiet light remained alive inside your spirit. Small sometimes, weak sometimes, but never gone. That light is not accidental. It is the reason you keep surviving things that should have destroyed you. And maybe lately, you've been feeling tired in a way sleep cannot fix. Not just physically, spiritually, emotionally, like your soul has been carrying too much for too long. You smile for people while secretly feeling empty inside. You encourage others while wondering who will ever truly understand you. You keep being strong because you do not know any other way to exist. But listen closely. You were never meant to carry the entire world alone. Chosen people often mistake their strength for a requirement to suffer silently. But strength was never supposed to become self-destruction. You are allowed to rest. You're allowed to feel. You're allowed to stop pretending everything is okay when it is not. And maybe that is why you found this message tonight. Not by coincidence, but because your soul needed a reminder. A reminder that your sensitivity is not weakness. Your loneliness is not proof that you are unlovable. Your struggles are not punishment. And your life is not meaningless. You've spent so much TI. Because the moment you finally stop begging the world to choose you, you begin realizing you were already chosen by something far greater. And that realization changes everything. Suddenly, you stop shrinking yourself to fit places that suffocate your spirit. You stop apologizing for your depth. You stop chasing people who only value the version of you that stays small and silent. You begin protecting your peace instead of sacrificing it for acceptance. That is when transformation begins. Quietly, slowly, like sunrise after the longest night of your life. One day, you wake up and realize your pain made you wiser, not bitter. Softer, not weaker. More awake, not more broken. You begin understanding that every difficult chapter carried a lesson your soul needed. Every ending redirected you. Every heartbreak uncovered another layer of your truth. Even the loneliness had a purpose, especially the loneliness, because solitude teaches chosen people how to hear themselves again, away from noise, away from pressure, away from the endless opinions of the world. In solitude, your spirit remembers its own voice. And once that happens, everything starts changing from the inside out. You stop living automatically. You become intentional. You stop abandoning yourself to keep others comfortable. You become honest. You stop fearing your sensitivity. You realize it is your gift. And maybe your gift is not meant to look dramatic or extraordinary in the eyes of the world. Maybe your purpose is quieter than that. Maybe you are here to heal people through your presence alone. Maybe your kindness keeps people alive in ways you will never fully know. Maybe your story will one day become the reason someone else keeps going. Never underestimate the impact of a soul that has suffered and still chooses love. That kind of spirit changes the world silently. And you are becoming that spirit. For so long, you thought your life was falling apart when in reality, it was falling into place. I know that sounds impossible when you look back at all the pain, the betrayals, the confusion, the moments that left scars no one else could see. But sometimes life removes things from your path because your soul has outgrown them, even when your heart still wants to hold on. And that process can feel brutal, especially for someone like you, because you do not let go easily. You love deeply. You care deeply. You stay loyal even after people give you reasons to walk away. You try to understand everyone's pain while silently carrying your own. And because of that, life has probably hurt you more than most people realize. Not because you are weak, but because your heart was never built for shallow connection. You were built for something real. That is why empty conversations drain you. Why fake energy exhausts you. Why crowds can still make you feel lonely. Your soul craves honesty, depth, peace, meaning. And when you cannot find those things around you, a quiet sadness begins growing inside. Not the kind of sadness that screams for attention. The kind that sits silently in your chest while you continue pretending everything is fine. But your soul notices. Your spirit notices every time you betray yourself just to keep others comfortable. Every time you stay quiet about what hurts you. Every time you settle for less than the love, peace, and respect your heart truly needs. And eventually, life reaches a point where it can no longer allow you to abandon yourself. That is when awakening begins, not as a beautiful moment, but as a painful unraveling. You start seeing people differently. You notice who only comes to you when they need something. You notice who disappears when you stop overgiving. You notice how often you made yourself smaller so others would not feel intimidated by your light. And at first, these realizations hurt deeply because they force you. In the moments where nobody claps for you, nobody validates you, nobody fully understands what you are becoming. That is where your real transformation begins. Quietly, internally, like roots growing beneath the ground before a tree ever breaks through the surface. And maybe lately, you have felt yourself changing. Your tolerance for chaos is disappearing. Your desire to please everyone is fading. The things that once distracted you no longer satisfy you. You crave peace now, real peace, not temporary escape. You want a life that feels aligned with your spirit instead of constantly draining it. That shift is not random. It means your soul is waking up. And once a soul awakens, it can never fully return to sleep again. You begin seeing through illusions too clearly. You stop admiring people simply because they are loud, popular, or successful. You start paying attention to energy instead of appearances. You become more protective of your time, your emotions, your peace. Not because you became cold, but because you finally understand how sacred your energy truly is. That understanding changes the way you move through life. You no longer chase people who give you mixed signals. You no longer beg for love. You no longer force yourself into places where your spirit feels unwelcome. Instead, you begin choosing yourself. And for someone who spent years putting everyone else first, that can feel unfamiliar at first, maybe even selfish. But it is not selfish to protect your peace. It is necessary because the truth is you cannot continue pouring from an empty soul. You cannot heal others while constantly neglecting yourself. Your healing matters too. Your peace matters too. You matter too. And I think part of you has always known that. Even during your darkest moments, there was still a voice deep inside whispering that your story was not over. A quiet hope that refused to die no matter how heavy life became. That voice is important. Listen to it. Bika. Healing does not mean you erase your past. It means your past no longer controls your spirit. It means you stop defining yourself by everything that hurt you. It means you finally understand that surviving difficult seasons was proof of your strength, not proof that life is against you. You have survived so much already. Please do not forget that. There were moments you thought would completely destroy you. Moments where your heart felt too heavy to carry another day. And yet here you are, still breathing, still searching, still hoping for something better, even after everything you have been through. That resilience is sacred. And one day, you will realize that the very things that made you feel different were actually preparing you for your purpose all along. Your sensitivity taught you compassion. Your loneliness taught you self-awareness. Your heartbreak taught you discernment. Your suffering taught you depth. Nothing was wasted. Not a single tear. Not a single sleepless night. Not a single moment where you felt unseen. Your journey has been shaping you into someone capable of bringing light into places that desperately need it. Because people who have truly suffered carry a unique kind of gentleness. They understand pain without needing explanations. They love carefully. They listen deeply. They recognize silent battles in others because they have fought those battles themselves. That is your gift. Not perfection, not having all the answers, but having a heart that remains soft in a world that tried to harden it. Never underestimate how rare that is. This world has many people who know how to impress others, but very few know how to truly comfort another soul. Very few know how to make people feel safe, understood, and seen. And maybe that is part why you are here. Maybe your presence alone is healing people more than you realize. A kind word from you could become someone's reason to keep going. Your honesty could help someone feel less. Healing does not mean you erase your past. It means your past no longer controls your spirit. It means you stop defining yourself by everything that hurt you. It means you finally understand that surviving difficult seasons was proof of your strength, not proof that life is against you. You have survived so much already. Please do not forget that. There were moments you thought would completely destroy you. Moments where your heart felt too heavy to carry another day. And yet here you are, still breathing, still searching, still hoping for something better, even after everything you have been through. That resilience is sacred. And one day, you will realize that the very things that made you feel different were actually preparing you for your purpose all along. Your sensitivity taught you compassion. Your loneliness taught you self-awareness. Your heartbreak taught you discernment. Your suffering taught you depth. Nothing was wasted. Not a single tear. Not a single sleepless night. Not a single moment where you felt unseen. Your journey has been shaping you into someone capable of bringing light into places that desperately need it. Because people who have truly suffered carry a unique kind of gentleness. They understand pain without needing explanations. They love carefully. They listen deeply. They recognize silent battles in others because they have fought those battles themselves. That is your gift. Not perfection, not having all the answers, but having a heart that remains soft in a world that tried to harden it. Never underestimate how rare that is. This world has many people who know how to impress others, but very few know how to truly comfort another soul. Very few know how to make people feel safe, understood, and seen. And maybe that is part why you are here. Maybe your presence alone is healing people more than you realize. A kind word from you could become someone's reason to keep going. Your honesty could help someone feel less.